Aloha and welcome everyone. Welcome to our workforce webinar session today. Today's session is brought to you by the City and County of Honolulu's Department of Community Services WorkHawaii Division, and also in partnership with our organization, the Hawaii Workforce Funders Collaborative. We're so excited for everyone to join us today, and people are also still coming into the room, so I'll just admit those folks as we go. But today's topic is really cool and fun. As you can see right there on the board, extra popsicle sticks and unveiling biases in workforce development. Just a little bit about the topic in workforce development. We talk a lot about systems and programs and all the wonderful things that we want to do in order to elevate the workforce landscape here in Hawaii. And so we're so pleased to have the team from the American Job Center here in Honolulu share with us their best practices, expertise, experience, and strategies of how they've gone about with just kind of the work that they do here in workforce realms. And so just a little bit about our presenters today. We have three. I'm going to start with Lena Ala. She is the administrator of the City and County of Honolulu's Department of Community Services WorkHawaii Division and has been in this role for over 30 years, a combination of different experiences, but she also serves as a social work field instructor at the University of Hawaii and Hawaii Pacific University and Arizona State University. We also have Andrea Gaines, who's the assistant administrator here at the Work Division. She's been with the division since 2016 and has worked in a variety of areas ranging from frontline mental health support and also tackling administrative duties along with the multiple programs. And then we also have Lee Williams Naiole here as an adult program manager for the Work Hawaii Division. She's had over 40 years of experiences in the work development field and also includes her experience with the state of Hawaii as a vocational rehabilitation specialist and employment specialist here in Hawaii. So we have collectively a lot of great experience and work expertise here amongst our three wonderful speakers. And I'm so pleased and honored that they have accepted the request from me to really present and share about their experiences here in Hawaii and especially within the American Job Center and the wonderful work that they do. And I just want to touch and highlight about the Work Hawaii Division. There is a website. We encourage you to go, search there and also look up the wonderful resources that they provide. But their mission is to develop a quality workforce for Honolulu's businesses and to empower individuals to meet the current and future needs of employers so that our economy here continues to grow. They offer a variety of programs for job seekers, employers here alike, and have also impacted communities statewide. So they have a few personal stories that they love to share with you today. And then a little bit about our organization, my organization, the Hawaii Workforce Funders Collaborative. We aim to strengthen partnership systems and to provide equitable access to quality living wage jobs for here in Hawaii and our residents. We work across the public, private, and nonprofit sectors, and we'd love to hear from you. We're a learning community. We love to build partnerships across the state and also help elevate the work of voice here in our communities. So that's a little bit about our organization. I am going to hand the baton over now to our presenters. And thank you guys for joining us and also dropping your information here in the chat so we can get to know you a little bit better. Haley, all for you.
All right. Mahalo, Mona, for that introductions, and aloha, everyone. We are really grateful for this opportunity to share our journey that began 8 months ago with the launch of our Call to Action initiative. This initiative, which included the entire Work Hawaii division, was designed to address a critical need, and that need was increasing enrollment into our American Job Center Hawaii section. Given that other sections of the Work Hawaii division also provide workforce development and housing assistance services, we recognize the importance of a unified approach to enhance our outreach and support efforts. To guide us through our presentation, here is an overview of the topics that we will cover today. Okay. Introduction. Before we dive into the details of our journey, I will provide some background information on WorkHawaii. The past. We'll take a look at the initial challenges we faced and the barriers that were present in our workforce development processes. The present. Next, we'll discuss the steps we've taken over the past 8 months to address these challenges and the progress we've made. The future. We will then share our vision for the future, including ongoing efforts and strategies we plan to implement to ensure sustained improvement and equity. And then finally, conclusions. We'll wrap up with key takeaways and lessons learned from our journey. Before we go forward, I want to say that this is our story, our journey, and no way implies that other government agencies or other workforce development agencies have experienced the same. What is WorkHawaii? WorkHawaii, as Mona shared, is a division within the City and County of Honolulu's Department of Community Services. The Department of Community Services also provides services for Kupuna through our Elderly Affairs Division, as well as the Section 8 program for the city, which is part of the Community Assistance Division. We also have a division called the Office of Grants Management that provides nonprofit agencies with grant awards in different areas that span island-wide. At WorkHawaii, we cater to a diverse community offering programs that span workforce development, job placement, and housing assistance through 6 divisions within the division, 6 sections, within the division, of which the American Job Center is one of them. Our goal is to support individuals in overcoming barriers to employment and achieving economic stability. WorkHawaii is 95% federally funded through grants from various U.S. departments, such as the Department of Labor, Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. These federal grants are crucial in enabling us to provide comprehensive and effective services in our community. Our main hub of services and activities is at our Dole Cannery location. At Dole, 3 state agencies are co-located with us, providing employment services and workforce development activities alongside us. These agencies are the Department of Labor's Workforce Development Division, the Department of Human Services Division of Book Rehabilitation, as well as the Department of Education's Community Schools for Adults. In addition to our Dole Cannery Hub, we also provide services and activities at our Waianae office, located at the Waianae Neighborhood Community Center. Also, we are co-located within 5 different Department of Human Services First to Work units, located in downtown Honolulu, Kailua, Wahiawa, Kapolei, and Waipahu. WorkHawaii jointly serves customers with a network of partners, as I mentioned earlier. A notable benefit of our partners' resource sharing. An example is the community school provides an instructor who assists customers with improving their basic skills in preparation for entering our GED program. Another example is we will jointly implement with the Department of Labor workshops, and hiring events for workers who have been laid off or military personnel who are transitioning to civilian employment. Eight months ago, when we began our call to action initiative, we never imagined that our own biases were going to be revealed as part of the reason for low enrollment in our programs. It was not a realization that we quickly embraced. It was difficult to accept that the strategies and processes we have been implementing for years were set up to benefit us and not our clients. We had made many pre-existing beliefs. We had many pre-existing beliefs, such as individuals with criminal histories are more likely to not complete training than those without criminal histories, and that only individuals who came to our office to inquire about services or to complete the application process are motivated to complete training and get a job. We came to realize that individuals were more likely to engage with us to learn about services and potentially become our customers if we illustrated that our processes and strategies, through our processes and strategies, that we cared about them and that we wanted to understand who they were and what they needed. Our new realization allowed us to help many customers, like Chantel, and we will share more success stories with when Andrea shares with you. Work Hawaii began its journey as the job training agency for the city and county in the 80s and 90s. Evolving over time, we became the workforce development agency in the 2000s. Many of the processes and strategies established long ago have persisted and carried over into present day. In the beginning of the call to action, we began exploring various strategies to boost enrollment. By doing so, we began to discover personal biases. Some examples of these biases where we are certain only individuals with four-year degrees and experience in workforce development were viable candidates to be hired. Letting go of familiar processes, such as requiring everyone interested in enrolling in our program to physically visit our office, was a challenging adjustment. This requirement was seen as a way to ensure that individuals were generally motivated and committed to participating in our services. We believe that our longevity and past experience successes justified our approaches of serving customers without truly opening ourselves up to understand them and what was important to them, and using their feedback to adjust our services. Personal biases prompted the introduction of additional layers of processes, forms, and records. While initially intended to streamline operations and maintain accurate records, these measures inadvertently introduce hurdles for program enrollment. The popsicle stick metaphor symbolizes the unnecessary barriers or objectives recreated in a process or a system. These additional layers of bureaucracy or unnecessary requirements can slow down, and it did slow down enrollment process as well as accessibility. It's, it suggests that simplifying was the best way for us to effectively overcome these barriers. We call these barriers extra popsicle sticks to remind us that simple for sided popsicle frames many of us created in grade school, which housed the self portraits we made, were perfect in their simplicity and function. And as we move forward from today on, we will always remember not to add extra popsicle sticks. We discovered how complex we made certain processes, such as requiring additional documents beyond the required federal eligibility documents. We required a three-tier review and approval process before a customer was enrolled. We required customer signatures on internal documents used to process invoices for training costs. And now, I'd like to introduce and pass the time over to Leanne, who will talk about the present.
Aloha, everyone. I prefer to be called Lee. However, I will continue on with the present. In addressing hiring and recruiting bias, I want to share with you colleagues that we've hired to include them, and they have diverse backgrounds, and I'll share. So we're benefiting from hiring staff who have diverse backgrounds. Their skills continue to be an asset for our programs. Allow me to share with you a little about their background, and I have received permission from them to share. We have a colleague from the mainland who is also a veteran. She identifies herself as LGBTQ and is the instructor for GED and Workforce Development Diploma Program. Does it matter? No, because her skills fit the workforce development. We also have another colleague with a media background. We never thought that she would fit in workforce development. However, she came with skills that has been beneficial for us. She creates our various program flyers, PowerPoints, success story videos, dashboard, etc. Another colleague who prefers to be identified as Mahu and does not feel comfortable with any other name. She is a talent engagement manager, and I will go over that title a little later, but it's also known as a case manager in our adult program. From the hospitality industry, we have two colleagues from this industry. Never thought that they would fit. However, they're a great fit as their transferable skills from the hotels have benefited our client. We don't use clients, we say customers, as well as working with the employers. The next two colleagues have no college degree. However, their experience substituted for it. Years ago, degrees were required for these positions. Eventually, more attention was to focus on the individual's work experience background as a substitution for degrees. Language and perception shift. We've given new titles to these positions. We no longer refer to case manager. Our case managers are called talent engagement managers. Our outreach workers are called recruiters. The new titles give a connotation of how they perceive themselves, and it empowers them, which is conveyed with also the rapport with the customer. We've changed to using the word customer to anyone who's on our caseload and anyone who enters our office. We don't say client or participant anymore. The terms that we used before were not as engaging, but now they're more engaging in a business standard. Also, we recognize what people would say staff as our colleagues. As far as digital transformation, we're starting slowly to create fillable forms. One of them is our purchase orders and removing the unnecessary items from days of old. It was recognizing that back then, 20 years ago until now, staff didn't question but was told to just do it no matter how redundant. Along with creating the fillable purchase order, a standard operating procedure or SOP was written as a standard of how to fill it out. We're working on other forms to be fillable, as well as removing the unnecessary or popsicle stick items. Now there's an SOP for everything. A few of our colleagues also created fillable timesheets for our internship program. The daily hours are calculated accurately now. Eventually, we'd like to add digital signature. However, fiscal section still requires wet signature or timesheets will not be processed. For staff timesheets, however, the staff uses digital signature, which also includes date and time. As, as far as the partnership expansion, we're working, it was shared by the State Department of Labor, the fact that military spouses are an untapped resource for employment and training. Therefore, we're collaborating with the military installations, and at this time, we're extending services to these spouses. As far as customized support and timely processing, we've had to slowly change our processes from days of old. And prior to that, who we called the case manager, but now talent engagement managers, did it all from eligibility to enrollment and manage the caseload. As we slowly initiated a new process, and we're still tweaking it along the way, I've had to encourage them to accept what we're doing. It's for the better. The old way is not working anymore. I, as manager, had to visualize and process the benefits of this because the old way I could see was not working. Once I changed my mindset, it was upon me to encourage my colleagues to buy into this. That was the challenge, and it periodically is still a challenge. The benefits of this, it's a seamless process. We've increased enrollment numbers from 122 to 310 for our adult program. And as far as dislocated worker programs, which are those individuals who are laid off, we've gone from 38 to 85. Now keep in mind the adult program, the goal is to enroll 239 for the program year. We've surpassed that. So for enrollment, mindset has changed from sitting in the office and wait and see who comes in to services where we go out mobile now to do enrollments as well. In understanding the customer needs, we've expanded. We've joined a pilot program. We've expanded our hours to fit the needs of the community. So now we're open until 6:30, and on Saturdays as well, we have staff working. Customer feedback. This is conducted at our hiring events, which we have once a quarter. Feedback from customers and employers. Also in our resource center with our expanded hours, We have a survey there as well, and we encourage them to fill it out. For cultural competency training, the adult, housing, and youth colleagues recently attended veteran training, and they said it was really, really good, and they learned a lot. Also, this may not be formal training. However, I feel that the outreaches to the community have also provided training to the staff as far as dealing with various populations. As far as public housing, adult and youth colleagues outreach to over 400 federal and state public housing units. At Kuhio Park Terrace, we collaborated with Leeward Community College to conduct office administration technology training to residents and presentations to agencies such as H3RC, which stands for Hawaii Health Harm and Reduction, to provide health awareness and care to the general public and targeted communities such as the LGBTQ.
Aloha and good morning, everyone. So I am going to discuss our future plans. Now, part of discussing our future plans is that I would like to start with a bit of a visual so you can see when we are talking about Popsicle 6 exactly what it was we had to start with and where we're planning on going with that. So before I move forward on the slides and start that process, I'm going to hold up some popsicle stick frames that may be a little hard for you to see as I'm probably just a tiny blip on your screens. But what we did with a couple of popsicle sticks that were initially given to us from the laws is that we created this. This is what we initially created with those. Now, what we have done as we've moved forward with that call to action is we've started removing those sticks. And here we are today, still in the process of removing sticks, but this is considerably more streamlined than it was previously. What we are hoping to do as we move forward is get to the nice, minimal, clean frame. That would be our future goals. So as we're talking about this, we want to continue to dismantle biases. So we're looking at increased accessibility. So the digital customer signatures that will eliminate the need for a customer to actually come in to sign anything or to make an extra trip to drop something off that they have signed at their work site now need to bring to us. It makes it easier for anybody with a mobility challenge, transportation limitations, to still receive all of those services. To go along with this digital signature piece for already enrolled customers, we also have the option of remote enrollments. For our WIOA programs, it is combined into the HireNet Hawaii piece. So they are able to remotely upload their documents and remotely sign their application. They will never even need to come into the office for that piece. We've also incorporated DocuSign for some of our programs that give us the ability to send secure documentation out. We receive the validated signatures back, so that way it is acceptable to our funders. Okay. Enhanced engagement. So we are looking at ways of continuing to connect with our customers even when they are outside, even when they don't come into us. So they can receive a text message from a staff's Outlook account that will include appointment reminders, updated information, could also include information about workshops that are upcoming, some job opportunities, hiring events. So they can opt into that via a QR code that leads to the WorkHawaii interest form. So when they even first express interest in learning about our programs, they can opt in to receive those messages. Even if they want nothing more than to know when the next hiring event is and they're not looking for any other services, they can opt in and receive that information. And they can opt out via a text message at any point in time. All they have to do is text message stop. We're also planning on continuing those offsite enrollments. So Those are being conducted so that we were meeting customers where they're at and where it's convenient for them. So maybe they aren't capable of doing that remote enrollment. They don't have the technology to basically do it on their own, or the know-how or understanding of how document scanning and upload works. We can meet with them at the schools that they may be attending training at, their potential work sites, local libraries, local coffee shops. This is something that we've already started implementing and plan to continue to implement, and would like to expand our basically recruiters to continue doing this. Okay, so some of our outreach to underserved communities. We have a recent partnership with the state libraries. We are in the libraries, 10 libraries across the state, well, across the island of Oahu, sorry, not the whole state. That would probably cost more money than our funders are willing to pay. But we are in 10 libraries across the island of Oahu. We're in each library once a month. The hours are actually posted on our website. We have a flyer and everything for it. But while they are there, the recruiter that is there is providing information on our services, linkages to any supportive services that are available for the individuals who are coming in and asking questions. But they can also do enrollments for the programs there. We also are stationed at the unemployment office. Twice a week, we'll have somebody there. The nice thing about having somebody there is that they can, in order to be eligible for unemployment, when they register, they're going to have to go and register on HireNet Hawaii. Having a person who is stationed there twice a week allows us to immediately assist them with that. So they don't need to make an additional trip, not just to the unemployment office, but to our offices to register. We have somebody there who can help walk them through the process. They have a computer, they have internet capability, and they can walk them through the process of registering while they're there. Now, we also are doing some outreach to other community groups, so churches, treatment centers, nonprofit agencies, as well as educational programs. So we are outreaching directly to this training providers in schools like Hawaii Medical College, Hawaii Dental Assisting Academy, and we'll go out on site and do enrollments at their locations. If they have 2 or 3, up to potentially 10 or 15 individuals that are looking to receive assistance with their training, we'll go out and we'll do the enrollment there on site while they're doing their intake for the school. So that way they don't have to make additional trips. Same with the nonprofit agencies. We actively partner with Catholic Charities and a variety of other nonprofits around the island. We work with Sand Island Treatment Center and just a variety of churches, including an upcoming outreach with New Hope. We are also providing job readiness training in the prison systems. So we have workers that go in now into 2 of our prison systems to provide that job readiness training and help prepare people who are coming out to join the workforce right away, and to start connecting them with those services and making them aware of the services that are available before they are out. And we are looking at expanding that. We are already in line to expand that into the women's facilities. Now, this is the part that I find very exciting because I absolutely love data. So as we are moving forward and we strive to serve our community, our commitment to the accountability, accessibility, and transparency guides us. So what we have drafted is, we refer to it as a data dashboard, and it is online and is accessible for anybody. I am actually going to take us there so that way I can show you what the data dashboard looks like. Okay. Here. So this is our website. Now, on this website, of course, we have information on our outreach and enrollment strategies, and information on our total enrollment numbers. Now, this information is updated on a monthly basis, and it is posted. So it's 100% available and transparent for the basically the community at large, to be able to access and see what we're doing. We also list our expenditures, as well as our outreach numbers, and what we qualify as a mass touch and high touch interactions, and our programming inquiries. And then down here at the bottom is where we will have our success story video. Now, I'm going to strongly encourage everybody to go ahead and please visit the website, take a look at our success stories, because that is really the reason we all do what we do. The individuals that are portrayed there, hearing their experiences in their own words, it's moving, it's impactful, and it's the reason we all do what it is we do. And moving forward, they're going to remain at the forefront and be the primary focus for us. And now I'm going to turn it back over to Lei to kind of wrap us up.
Thank you, Andrea and Lee, for your presentations and in particular your folks' insights. So as Andrea says, our commitment to keep in the forefront is our customers and us second. The popsicle sticks are a reminder to us that they are the main reason that we do what we do every day. What you see here is the different takeaways that we'd like to present today. Remembering that inclusion is so important. Lee talked about the staff that we brought on board. Never imagined that we would be able to have those individuals that represent diversity in thought, values, and how it has extremely benefited our entire division. Innovation, that is so important. It's so easy to sit back and just keep on doing status quo. Innovation takes work. Innovation, coming up with different strategies and processes, that does not happen in the business day, where our attention needs to be to our customers as well as to each other. Equity, we are always striving to make sure that we look at who we are not serving, whether it's individuals that represent new immigrants from the Pacific Islands, individuals with disabilities, individuals coming out of treatment centers. We always remind ourselves that we can never just settle, that we constantly got to be looking at ways to bring more individuals on board that we don't traditionally provide services to. Accessibility, we talked about the moving to digital transformation, digital fillable forms, digital signatures. Those take money. Those strategies take money, but we have found ways to look at creating those in-house with the talents that we have. The fillable timesheet, the dashboards, all of that has been created in-house. A few weeks back, I had an email from a workforce development colleague in Nevada who happened to find our dashboard and wanted to know how much it cost. When we had an opportunity to chat, and I told her the cost was just our passion and commitment to keep on working through it. And we didn't spend any of our funds. She was amazed. And it really was our colleague with the creative media background who put that together, simply using WordPress, but having the vision of a creative person. She was able to put together that dashboard, which she continues to work on every day. Active support, this is so key, active support. What that means for us is constantly looking at how we can support our customers beyond what our federal dollars can provide, looking at how we can leverage other resources. Take, for example, childcare. Childcare is very costly. Well, how might we leverage other resources to provide support? One of the ways we've done it in the Department of Community Services is we brought on an individual who is the early ed coordinator for the city, who has just been a joy to work with, as she has helped us see beyond what we're doing here. And I'm very, very excited about how we can partner together and look for other funds that we traditionally don't use here at Work Hawaii or within the Department of Community Services. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are so grateful for this opportunity to present. And yeah, that's mahalo.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lina Ala, Lee, Andrea, and team for that wonderful presentation. I'm gonna go drop ahead a few comments in the chat, but yeah, this is our time for Q&A. If anyone has any questions or comments they'd like to address to Lina Ala and team, please feel free to unmute yourselves and just go for it. And thank you for joining us today, guys.
Yeah, I'll get started. I have a question. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan. I work for the university. I know Lei very well, so nice to see you, Lei. But I did have a question about, I love all the programs and hearing about all the great things you're doing, but I know getting the message out to people so they know about those things, I always know that that's such a struggle. And I just would be curious to know from your experiences, what are the best ways to do that? And if you have data that says, oh yeah, when we did it this way, we got this many respondents, but we did it this way, we got this many respondents. If you could speak to that, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. I appreciate that question. The changes that we've made to our enrollment process, the different outreach strategies that we implemented, have really improved our enrollment. Combined with our youth program, from October 1 to today, we've actually have 411 additional new enrollees in that short period of time. So for us, that is a testament to what we're doing. As far as outreach, getting the word out, our federal dollars, as you know, we're 95% federally funded. Our federal dollars are not well known to be used for a comprehensive outreach media campaign. However, a few months ago, we found a federal guidance from the Department of Labor that says that WIOA funds can be used for such. So we modified our budget, and we are patiently waiting for that modification to be approved, which will allow us to then embark down that way to include that as part of our journey. We know it works. We know that type of outreach works because our Quest internship program does have a media campaign. Some of you may have seen our commercials that were actually filmed here at our location at Dole. And through that, we've gotten hundreds of inquiries. So we are patient, we are anxious, and we are excited at the same time to be able to have that campaign launched. And we will do it in such a way that we will strategically look at different, again, individuals that we don't currently serve and serve more of them through that campaign, and hopefully, increase our have been equitable in our offerings.
Great. Thanks, Lay. And thanks for you and the whole team for the presentation. It was, I thought I knew more than I actually did know. So I appreciate this presentation because I feel like I definitely know more. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Anyone else? I know, I don't know if you saw that Matt was asking about the numbers on the data dashboard, which I thought was a really cool dashboard. If this is based on the calendar year or the fiscal year period.
It's based on the fiscal year. So when we started to build the dashboard, we captured, it was after the start of this fiscal year, which for us runs July 1 to June 30th. So the first numbers that we captured were the numbers for February. Like Andrea shared, what happens is at the end of the month, so that's coming up quickly, for May, in the first week of June, all that information on the dashboard will be will be revised. So you'll see the increases in numbers. Now the expenditures are the one that is not timely. We don't get our expenditure reports from our fiscal section probably 45 days after the end of the month. But we do have a statement in the dashboard that does state that. Yeah. And the numbers, I just want to speak to the numbers that you see with the mass touch, high touch, and program inquiries. The mass and high touch and program inquiry numbers are numbers that we pull from a spreadsheet. So each day, our recruiters and anyone that's out there, before they leave for the end of the day, they have to insert the numbers in our spreadsheet, right? The program inquiries, though that information comes from the program interest form that an individual fills out. So we have a QR code. If they go to the QR code, it leads them to the program interest form. You click on what you're interested in: job placement, housing assistance, GED, etc. You put in your contact information. That goes to a Google spreadsheet. Our eligibility team daily looks at that spreadsheet, contacts new individuals, and they do it within a 24-hour period, and they go ahead and they follow up. And that's important. Follow-up is critical to ensuring that the customer knows, hey, we care, we understand you have a need that perhaps we can address.
Thank you, Lee.
I had a quick question. I know we're running towards the end of time here. First off, thank you so much for what you shared, Leonala. Really, really inspiring work that you all are doing. You know, I think you're in an interesting position because, and true to what I know about you, right? So much of this presentation was really about the customers, right? And the things that you've done to deliver services differently. But I think, you know, thinking about workforce, you know, you're also an employer. So I'd love to hear maybe just one or two thoughts around, you know, what, in order to make these types of changes for how you're thinking about delivering this work, right? I'm sure there's some changes with the workplace culture as well. As a leader, you know, what types of things did you need to do to support your staff in being able to think differently?
Thank you for that question. And I'm laughing, and Andrea and Lee are here chuckling as well. Well, you know, when I initiated the call to action, I thought it was going to be simple, Matt. I thought that everyone was going to embrace it and knew what I knew, that we needed to do this, but that wasn't the case. My colleagues struggled. I got frustrated. And so I had to step back and remind myself that I'm a coach, I'm a cheerleader, right? And so I need to constantly, on a daily basis, even today, cheer my colleagues on. You can do it. You can make those changes. You can let go. And a lot of the reasons why they didn't let go is because they were used to it. And they didn't know beforehand why they were supposed to do it. All they were told is this is the way we do it. And there were successes. And then when our enrollment goal jumped up by over 100 at least, and I'm being very conservative in that number, right? I knew the treadmill was on high and that we had to get on it and we could not fail. We had to keep on moving on that innovative treadmill. So for me, it's constantly being patient, understanding where people are at, and being that coach, being that cheerleader, not the threatening leader. Do it because I said so. And the SOPs, the standard operation procedures, have a tremendous impact because they are the constant information that people can refer back. Now, those SOPs are written by Andrea and I primarily, and we do it after hours, on the weekends, holidays. And that's all part of the innovation behind the scenes, right? That we need to do in order to keep moving it forward. All the different strategies we created together, but it was more than likely me saying, what about us doing this? Now, I know some of my colleagues think I'm crazy. Some of them think I drive them too hard. So it's like a love-hate relationship at times, but I embrace all of it because I know that as a public agency in particular, this is what we need to do. Every cent that we have, whether it's locally or not, that's someone's hard-earned funds. So we don't have the luxury, and we should not be sitting around deciding if we're going to give 100% or not every single day. Like I tell my colleagues, Matt, and I would like to share this. That paper, that application, that represents a human who's entrusted us to help them find a job so that they can provide a better future for their family. A person that entrusts us to help them find housing so they can get off the street. A kupuna who wants affordable housing, right? So while we go home and at night to our hale, and our challenge for the evening might be what we're going to eat, what we're going to watch on television, is it Netflix or not? Those people that come to us may not have that. So we need to serve diligently and with purpose every single day.
Thanks so much, Lee. We have time for one or two more questions. I sort of have a question, Lee and team. I was really inspired by how you guys shared your journey pretty much from the past, present to future. And this analogy of the popsicle sticks, most oftentimes in systems and organizations, like you said, it's just years of dated practices and no one really going through and weaving through those popsicle sticks to understand why did we do this in the first place. So I guess my question is, for two parts. One, if anyone is interested in even starting this within their own organization, what would be the first step? And then two, it sounds like, and it's just amazing how seemingly overnight in this short transition that you embarked on this journey, that you had your enrollment numbers just really go up, increase significantly. Have you had any other organizations within the Canadian community, public agencies wanting to learn more about how you guys did that and, any intent to implement that or even share those type of strategies and best practices?
Yeah. Thank you for asking. No, we haven't shared. This is the first time we're sharing our popsicle stick metaphor. We yeah, Mona, this was the first opportunity. So when you asked if we do a webinar, and I thought, okay, let's do it on this. Now, I forget, tell me what the first part of your question was again.
I guess first step on if
First
other
step?
organizations were, yeah, wanting to do the same thing within their systems as well, what would you recommend as a first step?
Yeah, the first step is to acknowledge you have extra processes, extra physical sticks. And for us, I tell you, we looked at it, the processes for like a month and a half. Lee and I wrote an SOP on one document, and we were working on it for a month and a half. And finally I asked Lee, I said, Lee, why do we have this here? And she looks at me, and then a couple of seconds later, she goes, Lee, I don't know. That's all we always was told we have to do.
Right. As is always
Right?
the case, yeah.
So you got to you got to be patient. You got to take the time. You got to want it. You got to want to explore your processes. Recently I learned about a term about government. Two different terms. One is probability government, and that's you keep on doing status quo, and results happen, but nothing really innovative happens. There's like us. We kept on doing what we're doing. Our enrollments would tweak up, but it wouldn't be at where we're at now, right? So that's probability. You can count on that. Keep on doing the same thing. And then there's possibility government, where you try new things, you innovate, and be certain that 9 out of the 10 will fail, but that one that will hold is going to lead to others. And do not be afraid of failing. That's possibility government. And I like to say we're striving towards that. We're not there,
Mhm.
but we are striving to be more of that kind of government agency.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And with that, we are at time. If you want to hang with us and have some questions later, more than happy to do so. But I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. Mahalo to our friends and colleagues here at the American Job Corps Center with WorkHawaii Division, Lina'ala, Lee, and Andrea for sharing their mana'o today. Mahalo to you all for attending your lunch hour with us. We will be sending a follow-up email with the resources, and we do highly encourage everyone to really watch the the stories, right? The real stories shared by some of the folks here that our AJC friends were able to help. And then also I have two asks for you guys, if you can please. I did share and I'll reshare it. A really short survey, if you guys can fill that out for me. And I'll also shoot that out in the follow-up email. And then also, in case you're interested, we do have another workforce webinar coming up next week, Thursday, same time. And then this is with Matt Stevens, the executive director of our organization, Hawaii Workforce Funders Collaborative. And if you guys are interested in maybe perhaps sharing a little bit about your workforce development strategies and insights and projects, I'd love to hear from you. I'll also shoot that my contact information as well. If that, I bid you farewell and aloha and all the best for the rest of the week. Thank you again, guys.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.